Hello everyone and welcome again to another episode of MotorWay. So again, another very specific topic is what are today's classic cars of the next generation. So what that I mean is a car that was built in, say, last year or even this year in 2016 or even 2017 coming up, is which one of those cars would be considered classic in about, say, 40 or 50 years or even the next generation. See, that's a little, it's difficult to explain because first off, you have to start off with what exactly is a classic car and how does it become a classic car? Well, a classic car starts off basically by, that it's a one-off edition, or they have just kind of made one and then just stopped making them and then made them later on, and then that, or it's a very rare item. Like, it could have a very specific motor in it, very specific transmission or whatever. The designing as well, the looks, there could be plenty of different things, but it's just, what would be considered a classic car. It's like, say this Pontiac, right here, this black one there. That's what, the G5, the G6, it's just, which one was it? Yeah, it was the G6. So, it's 40 years down the road, it's not, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Pontiac G6, I remember that, that's a classic car. Well, not really, because it's just an everyday car. That's all it really was. I mean, when you think of classic cars today, you think of 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And yeah, it's still going on. But there's really going to be not a lot of classic cars for today's generation. Car companies haven't really made a car so great that down the road it will be amazing. And you can probably say that I am a little bit wrong. I mean, you could think of a really, really nice car, say like the which one was it, the 2004 Challenger. Sorry, yeah, it was 2006, because they came in around then. It's 2006, because I specifically remember is when I was 16, my father used to work for the Chrysler, and it was the Take Your Kid to Work Day. And I went there, and I saw the Magnum, the 300, the Charger, and the Challenger, and they were all lined up, and that was their Chrysler's new line of cars. Is, like I said, the Charger, the Challenger, the Magnum, and the 300. Those were like just coming out then, like I think like 2004 to 2006. So like the Challenger, the 2006 Challenger, or 2004, whatever it is. And would that be considered a classic car? Because, yeah, it is a really great car. I mean, Dodge did an alright job on it, on designing it and everything. And they also, thank God, they actually put their Hemi in it. But in 40 years' time, would it really be considered a classic? Because when you think of Challengers, you don't think of 2014, 2015, or 2005, 2006 Challenger. You think of 1970. You think of Vanishing Point, that white Challenger, 1970. That was like the era back then for the Challengers. But now it's, like I've talked in another video before, is car companies have just screwed up their muscle cars. Like this Charger here. The Charger's a 4-door with an automatic transmission. I mean, yes, granted, in the Hellcat, the new Charger and Challenger Hellcat, they actually do have manuals. But yeah, I just don't think the Charger or the Hellcats are going to be classic cars in 40 or 50 years' time. I'm sorry, they're just not going to be classic cars. Even by Ferrari standards. Let's take, that's another thing, is something that is expensive and not a lot of people had would be considered a classic car, yes. But like Ferrari LaFerrari or the McLaren P1, the Porsche 918 Spider, stuff like that, those are all hypercars that are designed to go over 220 miles an hour, have over 1,000 horsepower and very limited production. Yes, those will be classic cars in 40, 50 years time. But it's still going to be the same price. It's still going to be a lot of money. For something like that, they actually retain its value. It's because they're very hard to come by. Like, yes, when you buy one for, say, $1.6 million, you get it. Now, all of a sudden, the value is pretty much, I wouldn't say half, but pretty damn close to being half. So later on, but it's still going to hold its value because it was that rare production car. I'm sorry, but today's generation, there is no classic car. There will never be classic cars anymore. I think 90s, like the Y2K, I think the Y2K had stopped classic cars in their tracks. That's just how I look at it, is because I myself, I grew up in the 90s and I idolized 90s Japanese sports cars and classic European cars as well. But that's it. They're done for. Anything after 2000, 40 or 50 years time, not really going to be a classic car. It's just going to be a car that was once it. That was it. That's just a car that was. Not anymore. I'll tell you now, when you get in your 50s and 60s, or however old you are now, and 30 or 40 years on top of that, the cars you think of today are no longer classics. That's it. Classics are officially dead. On that side note, that's it for MotorWay. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.